July 20th, 1969.
The surface is silent, barren, yet full of mystery.
On this day, humanity watched history unfold.
A small step captured for millions, yet questions remain.
The American flag stands proud, yet it appears to move in ways we wouldn't expect.
But how does a flag wave in a vacuum with no wind?
The movement begins when the astronauts handle the pole, but some ripples continue even after contact ends.
Shadows in some frames seem unusual, prompting questions about light and perspective. The ripples continue, lingering longer than some expect, raising subtle questions about physics and motion.
A split screen shows astronaut movement alongside slow-motion technical footage, highlighting subtle inconsistencies in motion.
Shadows appear inconsistent, raising questions about light sources and surface angles.
Today, we investigate the mysteries that won't go away. What really happened on humanity's greatest journey?
The Apollo 11 mission remains one of humanity's most extraordinary achievements.
3 astronauts, a journey of 240,000 miles, and a moment that united the world in wonder.
Layered into the celebration was the hum of vintage radio chatter, a reminder of the technology behind the achievement.
But even as the world celebrated, questions began to emerge, small inconsistencies noted by scientists and photographers alike.
Over the decades, various moments sparked questions and debates among both experts and enthusiasts.
Even after 50 years, certain mysteries remain unresolved, sparking curiosity and debate.
Today, we examine the evidence on both sides, documents, lunar samples, and first-hand accounts that tell a complex story.
From the very beginning, questions emerged, not just from conspiracy theorists, but from scientists and ordinary observers alike.
We've uncovered 6 compelling mysteries that demand closer examination. Each one challenges what we think we know.
Let's begin with the first mystery, the flag that seems to wave in a vacuum.
Let's address the most famous anomaly first. The American flag appears to wave on the moon.
The apparent movement of the flag in a vacuum puzzled viewers for decades.
The moon's surface exists in near-perfect vacuum, with no air molecules to move the flag. Basic physics says it shouldn't ripple at all. But observe the footage. The flag moves when astronauts handle it. Then the ripples persist longer than expected in a vacuum.
NASA's explanation: a horizontal rod keeps the flag extended. Twisting the pole during planting gave the
Skeptics counter that the ripples appear too wave-like and sometimes move when no one touches them.
This mystery remains one of the most debated. Physics or photography? You decide.
But that's just the beginning. What we discovered about the shadows is even stranger. Stay with me.
But the flag is just the beginning. What we discovered about the shadows is even stranger. Stay with me.
Look at this photograph carefully. 2 objects on flat ground casting shadows in completely different directions. In theory, impossible with a single light source.
On Earth, shadows from a single light source are parallel. The moon, with the sun as its only light, should behave the same way.
Stand 2 people on flat ground, and their shadows point the same way. That's what we expect on the moon, too. Professional photographers examined dozens of Apollo images. They found shadows diverging at impossible angles and dark areas that appear illuminated. Skeptics argue this suggests multiple light sources, exactly what you'd find in a television studio, not on the lunar surface. Skeptics argue this suggests multiple light sources, exactly what you'd find in a television studio, not on the lunar surface.
Computer modeling of the lunar terrain shows how uneven ground could create shadows that appear to diverge.
Comparing actual photos with the terrain model shows some consistency, though not all anomalies are fully explained. Critics suggest multiple light sources might explain some anomalies, while others argue terrain alone is sufficient.
Before any spacecraft reaches the moon,
The belts contain radiation levels 1,000 times higher than Earth's surface, high enough to be dangerous to unprotected humans.
The Apollo command module had an aluminum hull just 1.5 inches thick. Critics question whether this...
Despite exposure, Apollo astronauts reported no radiation sickness, no hair loss, nausea, or cellular damage, raising questions about the mission's safety.
NASA's solution. They plotted a trajectory through the thinnest parts of the belts, minimizing exposure.
By moving quickly, 25,000 miles per hour, the astronauts spent less than 2 hours in the danger zone.
Modern ISS astronauts receive significant radiation monitoring. How did 1969 technology manage safety with minimal protection? Even today, astronauts in orbit require constant monitoring for radiation, yet Apollo astronauts reportedly experienced minimal exposure. Glitch cut, missing tapes teaser, and
Archive storage visuals reveal how tapes were stored.
Introducing the lost evidence. RUMS. What went missing? NASA admits tapes were erased for reuse. Compare grainy recovered footage versus original quality. Timeline shows journey from moon landing to tape erasure in 2006. Budget constraints explain why tapes were reused. Compare historical footage to highlight missing elements and inconsistencies. The vault remains quiet and empty, leaving us to wonder.
A look at some of the most iconic Apollo photographs.
Some suggest these photos are too perfect.
The astronauts used Hasselblad cameras with specialized settings.
Astronauts had no viewfinder, making framing challenging. Attempts to recreate lunar photos on Earth often fail.
Recreation attempts fail to replicate lunar photo perfection.
NASA training prepared astronauts to achieve precise photographic results.
Experts remain unconvinced about photo authenticity.
A brief flash of Kubrick's visuals hints at a curious connection.
Stanley Kubrick carefully directed his scenes in 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Notice the visual similarities in lighting and composition between film and lunar photography.
Lighting techniques in the film provide an interesting point of comparison.
Too perfect? Examining the precision of Apollo photography.
Close examination of the Hasselblad camera used by astronauts.
Earth-based tests attempt to replicate Apollo photography results.
Results show the challenges in replicating Apollo photo precision.
Timeline comparison highlights key events leading to Apollo 11.
Examining documents that some suggest hint at the Apollo filming.
Experts explain why cinematic techniques cannot explain Apollo footage. Returning to Earthrise, reflecting on humanity's achievement.
Scientific evidence from retroreflectors and moon rocks confirms lunar presence. Acknowledging international observation during the Cold War era. Recap of key mysteries explored throughout the journey. Let us continue to explore the cosmos with curiosity and unwavering open-mindedness. For it is in the final view of the footprint symbolizes humanity's achievement and impermanence.
We hope you enjoyed this brief look. Now, we'd love to hear from you and get your feedback. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't miss the next episode where we dive deep into exploring the future.